Good morning, everybody. Can you hear us?
Is it working?
Are we live? Are we really here? We'd like to again thank you and welcome you for joining our Inspired Title Talk for our Thursday, January the 14th.
2nd January.
Holy cow. January 14th,
Yeah.
2021.
2021.
We,
you know how many file numbers I've messed up already?
and how many?
I've had to redo at least 7 of them.
Wow.
Because I keep opening them up under 20 and not 21.
Are you guys like me? Are you guys still writing the year of the monkey on your checks?
Yep. Well, I don't write checks, but yep.
If you were. Anyway. So again, this is Title Talk. My name is Drew.
And my name is Amy.
We are your hosts for today, and we have
And every day.
lot of fun every day.
Yeah, you're every day.
All day,
All
every
day,
day. Oh my.
It's gonna be a fun one, guys. I'm feeling it.
Lots of coffee, lots of caffeine in us today.
Thanks, Brittany.
We are really going to get after it today. So again, we thank you guys for tuning in on our Thursday Title Talks. We really do this every week for giving to our customers, our clients, and family and friends to kind of teach you guys a little bit about the industry that we're in and help you guys in your buys, your sells, your refinances, some things to look out for, some troubles that could happen, and some of the do's and don'ts maybe within the industry. And Amy and I have been really taking more and more time and effort into kind of planning some of these things out, and we've got a lot of great stuff coming for the new year that we're both excited about. I never would have imagined the things that we would be doing that we are going to be doing.
Yeah. Doors keep opening.
It does.
Yeah.
It's just, I think we're certainly getting out there with the different opportunities and trying to grow a brand, and I think a little bit about that brand is us, right? I mean, we've been talking about, what are the people buying in the world of title?
Because nobody, who really cares about a title company?
You.
Well, me.
Yeah, because you're the one who
But
really talks about that.
But if there's somebody that, if you're buying a house, what do you usually do? You usually go to where...
You rely on the professional.
Oh, I work with these people all the time. That's and as a buyer, you're like, okay, whatever, just get my deal done.
Right. Everybody relies on the professionals. They go to their attorneys or their realtors and just go ahead and let them handle the whole process. And now we're trying to educate you guys and give you guys a little insight into some of the things that you can look for, some of the questions that you can ask, and maybe even some of the encouragement that you can give to say, hey, you know what, I want to use the folks that Inspired. Drew and Amy, I saw them, they were great.
They kept popping up in my face, and
they were everywhere.
They wouldn't leave me alone.
All over the internet. There's
so
some
I'll
really,
finally just use them and shut them up.
We're gonna bug you till you do anyway, so you might as well just get out there and
enjoy it.
Use this. So we are again sitting in our studios here in Palos Heights. We have a couple offices in Indiana. We're growing. We've added a new team member who is she's dynamic.
She's great. Thank you, Courtney, for introducing.
She is really great. And as much as it sucked to lose Courtney, I think we gained a good one in Brittany. And
we didn't really lose Courtney because luckily Courtney and Brittany are friends.
Yeah.
So Courtney will hang around a little more than
she's gonna be our team therapist.
She is,
no doubt, and she'll probably make all her money in our office.
I tried to hire her as our individual, just group therapist, but she wasn't on board.
No, she wasn't having it, huh? So we're going to kind of get into our day here and include you guys in that excitement and fun. Our story of the day.
More really fun stuff.
Yeah,
I think it's a little heavier than.
Yeah, this one carries a little bit of weight to it, but it's
important to talk about.
It is important to talk about. It's important for many people may not know that this is even an option, or how this works, or what it involves.
And depending on what state you're in, the answers and the outcomes are different, which is crazy to me.
Very, very true. Very true. So we're going to talk about guardianship, and guardianship in its own right is got its own kind of connotation to it, and I think it you can't take it lightly because.
So start with what a simple definition of guardianship is.
Sure. So there's several types of guardianship. I mean, you can have guardianship over a disabled individual, somebody who is not of sound mind and body. You can have guardianship over a minor. That is not an uncommon practice as well. And then there's different types of guardians that are, you could be appointed a guardian of a person that has lost some faculties and capacities. So
Right,
they're
not of sound mind and body.
exactly they're not to the point of totally disabled. However, they have some impairments and such. So, and the process of this is really something that is done through the courts. The case in the story that we're going to ultimately talk about is a gentleman who was in a car accident or an accident of some sort
Right.
that suffered some serious brain trauma that disallowed him really to
Make any choices and
take care of himself.
Right.
He got so bad that he couldn't even function. He couldn't even take care of himself. There was really nothing that he could do on his own. So the family, the siblings, had gone in to discuss the ability of them being the guardian. But it turned out that one of the kids was already doing that. They were taking care of them already.
Yeah.
However, they wanted to do it formally and correctly.
Right.
So the process is nothing more than going in to petition the court to have the jurisdiction of
right.
be
You pretty much
appointed
need to
guardian.
prove that
Right.
this is the right decision because
Right.
they couldn't take care of themselves. They couldn't really make choices that
Yeah.
made sense anymore. So they wanted to do it the right way, go to the court to get the right to watch his estate, like watch over his estate.
All of
and
his affairs.
His affairs, right?
Yeah, all of his affairs. And the guardianship part of that was granted by the courts. So that's great. So that left two individuals, brother and sister, son and daughter of the impaired individual, and the courts call the person who is being guarded, they call them a ward.
A ward, right?
Okay, so the ward, which is the elderly gentleman that is now being has granted guardianship to his two siblings.
And he's being taken care of at a home. He's
Yep.
under great
Yep.
care, but
Yep. And now the kids are controlling all of his financials, all of his assets, and his daily care. So they decide that they want to sell his house.
because he no longer can live there.
Right. He's in a home.
Right.
They moved him to a living facility, a care living facility.
Right.
And now they are up against this property that they don't want to keep maintaining and paying on and all
Taxes
of those
and all that
things.
stuff, yeah.
So they make this conscious decision to sell the house. Illinois,
I was going to say, what would have happened in Illinois?
within the petition of the guardianship,
All the parties are served to kind of, to
they're
be
made aware.
They're made aware of what is happening, that the guardianship is granted to these two individuals, even if there are other siblings, other brothers and sisters and stuff. And so in Illinois, once that court case has been finished, has been decided, then those two guardians have every right to every affair for this individual.
Yeah, I mean, there's full guardianship. There's financial guardianship. So it really depends on the language of the
Right.
court doc, and
Right.
what happens is they will really dictate and outline the powers of the guardians,
Yes.
financially, health, assets, real estate.
It's
et cetera.
all like laid out,
It's laid
word
out.
for word.
It's very detailed.
But what about Indiana?
So in Indiana, as an example, we are also licensed to do business in Indiana, and the difference there is that in order to sell real estate, they would need to petition the court and get a court order allowing them the ability to sell that.
And it is entirely separate court
Yep,
case.
yep. I mean, even though
It's outlined.
it says it in the petition, that's okay. Even though it says it in the petition that, hey, guess what? You have all the rights to
everything.
oversee everything. There was a court case in, I think it was 1996. 96? Yeah, I thought it was 96 or 94, whatever the case is, that stated that going forward, the only way to sell real estate for a guardianship is to petition the court, have the court grant the access and the ability to do that, and then move on to do that. Now, the troublesome comes that's just another layer of protection ultimately for
Correct.
the ward. so that the greedy kids aren't just selling a property out from underneath mom or dad because they're incapacitated and they just need the money and they're doing this for financial gain.
Right.
I mean, it's sad to think that there are so many unscrupulous people out there, but we talked about it last week and how upsetting and frustrating the world around us is.
Yeah.
And
the reason that it became something is because in the 90s, there was a reason to make this extra layer of protection.
Right. This must have been taking place a lot more frequently with regard to people selling properties that were just getting financial gain from it, right? Where they now were not doing what is in the best interest of the ward, they were doing what is really benefiting them.
Right.
And, the title business,
it's messy.
We deal with the internal affairs of individuals, and I think you see it firsthand. And when you first started here, it was more about learning and it was more about understanding. Now you can see where the emotional part of this can come into play. People losing their homes, people doing unscrupulous things, the behind the scenes fraudulent stuff that has been done. I mean, we have another circumstance where a tax deed went through and granted the property to
this was an
LLC. Okay. However, the individual who lived there before went ahead and said he quitclaimed his property to somebody else. Well, the tax deed wiped his interest out. He's gone. But now
somebody else
paid money to this guy. Has got a quitclaim deed, which is really nothing, because he doesn't own anything. Remember, what a quitclaim does is it transfers what I have is what you have.
Your Brooklyn
I will
Bridge.
give it to you, my Brooklyn Bridge. I can quitclaim the Brooklyn Bridge to Amy right now. I don't own it, nor does she. So this guy didn't own that real estate, and he quitclaimed it to somebody else.
Sold it to somebody else
for money, for consideration.
Right.
And now that guy is going to go knock on that door to go live in that house, and the people who have the tax deed are going to be knocking the house down and doing rehab on it, and it's going to be a really interesting thing. And who's going to get tossed in the middle? We are, because we're the deciding factor. We're the referee in this thing.
Right.
So
what do I do? Like when I put together the title, I raised it. I didn't know which way to raise it at first because so theoretically, we always say the vesting on the schedule comes from the last deed of record.
Right.
So the last deed of record was this Mr. Jones, we'll call him. That was not his name. Even though this LLC should have actually been on the Schedule A based on A, B, and C. So the attorneys are doing a little sleuthing and behind the scenes work to kind of to make sure that this LLC can actually sell this property. It's
a mess.
It's a weird one.
And
It's 2021.
Yeah, I mean 2021 is kind of picking up where we left off, right?
It is. It is coming in hot.
But here again, these are the things I think we talked about last week that people talk about. Well, I don't need title insurance. I'm not going to worry about it. These are the
like the person who got quitclaimed to this property that from a person that there was no title insurance on there. There's absolutely no title insurance on there.
That transaction happened for cash, for a piece of paper.
Because if there was title insurance on there, they would have found out that this person actually did not own this property to sell to them.
Right. No, that is a true statement with regard to the reasons that we do what we do and the reason for us in a transaction.
Right.
And I can't stress enough the importance of why we do what we do and the need for what we do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's important, and I think again it's important to be candid to understanding the personalities of who you're working with and the friendliness of who you're working with. You build a rapport with them. We're not going to.
I care about the customers and the reasons that we're doing this, and it's because we want to help.
Yeah, we're not going to overshadow something that is important. We're going to bring it to your attention and say, okay, I know this is ugly, and I understand this is a big thing. However, let's now work together to figure it out. How do we resolve this? What is our move forward process?
And this actually is a good segue back into this guardianship.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
So we always talk about our underwriters.
Yeah.
So what happens when you bring this situation to the underwriter and their response is this property can't be conveyed because of this court case for the real estate not happening.
Right.
So they say they won't insure this transaction.
Correct.
So
Right.
kind of what's the difference between what an underwriter does for the title company
Mhm.
and what we as a title company try to do for everybody else?
Oh, that's a great question, Amy. And I think it gets lost in the translation,
It does.
and I think it gets lost in the shuffle. The industry people ask us, who are you guys underwritten by?
Mm-hmm.
Because they want to know that we don't have mom and pop. They want to know that we have a legitimate backing of a solid title company.
And we
So
do. We have great underwriters.
we do. I mean, First American Fidelity are underwriters.
I love our underwriters. They're great
And
people. to
very
work with.
responsive and
Oh, yeah.
very helpful. So Amy's question is the difference, or how do they differ between what their roles and jobs are?
Like a claim against an underwriter
Exactly.
versus a claim versus a title company.
We are an extension of them. We're an agent
Yep.
of them. Okay, they have given us the power to issue their insurance policies. Okay, so every insurance policy you get is either going to be First American or Fidelity. It's not an
Inspired Title.
Okay,
Policy.
Inspired Title is the
Maybe
is
one
the
day. Just kidding.
the liaison between you, the buyer or the consumer, and the title company.
Correct.
Okay, we're doing all the middle work of this. So we look up to them as Big Brother, going, hey, what do we do in this instance? What can you help us out? They really have our back. They're going to guide us and direct us.
Yep.
Saying, hey, this is okay, this is not okay. Watch out for this.
Right.
So any kind of issue, question, problem, we bring this to their attention and we work through this.
Help
yeah,
me.
I mean we do. We send up the smoke signals and
I
they
used
come to
to.
our rescue.
I used to be really against reaching out to the underwriter when I first started here because I thought it was like a sign of I don't know what I'm doing, help me. But now, like I feel like the past couple months I've been reaching out to them more and more,
Right.
just because I feel like a lot of transactions were done, a little half-buttedly.
Yeah.
And I feel like those properties that were done weird 8 years ago are now coming around for sales. So I just feel like there's more questions, and they love getting questions from us
They do.
because
They
it means we're
encourage it.
paying attention to what we're doing,
Yeah.
and it makes a really good relationship with them, and it also, they know me on a first name basis now.
And that's what.
All right, Amy, what do you got now?
Right. That's building that rapport, like we're
Yeah.
asking and suggesting you guys do with your title company.
Mm-hmm.
We've done it with our underwriters to suggest that we can pick up the phone, call them with a conundrum and say, this is weird.
Help
What do you
me."
suggest in this aspect?
Yeah.
And they've been wonderful
Oh my
at,
God, they're so
at
good.
directing us and guiding us as to what we should do.
Yeah.
So furthering on that conversation, they suggest X.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I would say that we would not insure this transaction because of A, B, C, D, E.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? A title company, I can push back against them and say, yes, I hear you. However,
But-
I'm willing to take this on risk.
Right.
What does that mean? That means that we're going to, in spite of what you suggested, we're going to go ahead and take this risk because we don't believe that the risk is as great as, I understand you as the,
Following the law, like following the ABCs of the law and what we should
Absolutely.
do.
There's nothing illegal about this. It's just saying, what is insurance? Insurance is a risk. It's insuring a risk.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we do differently is say, all right, I understand that this could potentially come back and be a problem. The likelihood, though, is so little,
Right.
and we've done a lot of our homework and we've done a lot of our behind-the-scenes work to protect us against that. So therefore, we may opt to insure over a transaction, an issue, an encumbrance, because we know a little bit more behind the scenes of it. That doesn't happen a lot.
No,
Okay, let's not-
I think
let's-
this is my first time.
This is,
in
and
5
it happened in this guardian
years.
situation.
Yeah, it
right?
was.
So the truth of this is that we listen and heed the underwriter's guidance.
For sure.
We also we really appreciate our clients and appreciate our customers. So with conversation, with the right documentation, with the correct due diligence, there may be some things that here's
If
a great
it can't
example.
be done this way,
A mechanic's lien
Uh-huh.
lasts for 2 years. So your contractor, your plumber is suing you
lasts for longer.
$2,000 because you didn't pay them for fixing your kitchen sink. Say 23 months from now, you guys are reselling your property. The mechanic's lien is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
I, as the title company, may look past that because in that 1 month, they've got to do a lot.
He will, I won't.
Amy's going to bring it
It
up.
will be on your title. It will
Yep.
be on the title
Will
for
always
closing.
be raised.
Yes.
We'll always raise that there is a mechanics lien against your property in the amount of $2,000.
This is why I don't envy your job.
When it comes to policy, we will insure over it, and it won't be on the policy.
Right.
We'll issue an endorsement that says we're going to take the risk that if something happens with that $2,000 mechanics
In
lien,
the next month,
we'll deal with it. But the likelihood is little, so we don't want to stop the transaction. We don't want to disallow you to buy or sell your home. We don't want to, really stand in the way. Now, there are many title companies who don't think outside the box,
Yeah.
and who will just do things that are, no, I can't do this because that's not in the rule book, and they're very mechanical.
and that's one of the big parts about this boutique title company that we always call us. I always say that I'm overly anal with everything that I do with these titles. Like if there's, if there were taxes that were sold and redeemed from 2014, I'm still going to raise that on title because what happens if they're redeemed by a third party?
Right.
Maybe they're not actually redeemed by the owner of the home.
Mm-hmm.
So I am overly obsessive with what I actually raise on title, whether, like you said, a mechanics lien that we're talking about, or tax issues, mortgages from 2008 that maybe it got released, but like at least putting it on a title raises a conversation.
Right.
And that's what I think is important about it. And then my conversation goes directly to him. He has to make the hard choices. I'm so lucky I don't have that job. But
And that just comes with time and experience.
Right.
You'll get to a point where you're going, yeah, I see, I get it. There's really very little risk here. I understand why you would take that.
you're dreaming, but,
No, but
yeah,
I mean,
maybe
it's,
one day.
It's okay.
Maybe
And
one day.
So it is not done. I'm not a person who doesn't like to take chances and is afraid of taking chances. However, I am a person who is going to make sure that it's not going to put us in harm's way and close the doors of the company and
Yeah.
jeopardize a
Right.
whole bunch of hard work that we've done to establish who we are. So
Like you said, thinking outside the box and getting,
Yeah,
a different way, a different answer to a court.
right.
Is I think it's what we did here, and I think we covered our duties every way we can. And
Oh, no doubt. I feel.
cross the T's, dotted the I's, and I think
I
I know that this is
feel very confident
Yeah.
in the decision that we made, and I feel very confident in the processes that we have in place. I also feel very confident in that we can offer this to others. And we get this call pretty frequently. It's,
Yeah.
hey, so-and-so title company won't insure this, will you? Well, obviously there's a reason they won't. So that
Right, so
person
what
steps
is
up
it?
the flag. Amy
Yeah.
goes through it and goes, well, I understand why. Here it is. What do you think, Drew? And then we kind of dive in. We throw it to our underwriter. They look at it and go, yeah, it's probably a little risk, and it's up to you guys. Okay, it's now the ball's back in my court. What do I want to do? And I would say I'm probably 50-50 on these things. I don't think that I bend.
I say 60-40. I think you go a little bit more out of your way to try to help a customer than
Oh, I think we all go out of our way.
Yeah.
But yeah, in weighing out the
Yeah.
pros and cons, I think is really the big
Yeah.
part. So that is a big piece to what Inspired Title does and what we stand for. We really do try to work hard to get the deal done. We are able to think outside the box. We
Yep.
are creative in how we can work these things through. We are not afraid to pick up the phone and call your lender, an underwriter, an attorney, and say, "Hey, did you think about maybe looking at this? Or
Right.
what about this? Is this possible?" And many times we get the, "No, that sounds great.
Oh, we can do that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys are okay with that?" Yes. If you do A, B, and C, we're good.
right.
And that's sometimes we're trying to find a solution. We're
Yeah.
not trying to just slam the door in your face and say thanks so much, because we understand that the process is hard, life is hard, there's enough going on, we don't need to make it any more difficult than it is. So
So that was a good one.
that's good. Yeah, that's good. That was our story.
Yeah, something that
Our
is near and dear to us right now because it
Yeah,
deal
it just
closed.
happened, and
Yeah.
these things happen. So, I mean, our story, to conclude that story, there were a couple stories within the story, but the summary of all of it is nothing more than working with the underwriter and hand-holding the process from beginning till end,
Yep.
and really assessing our risk to seeing what's important and what's not, and being that boutique title company that you guys can always rely on and lean on for questions and concerns and help to get this process done. So thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, that was a
and
lengthy
getting
story
that.
for you.
But, that was I typically try not to elaborate on too
No, but it was a
many
good
things,
one.
but I think it maybe offered some different perspectives for some people as well. So. ending this thing for you guys and letting you get back to your Thursday. We again say thank you so very much, and we really appreciate you tuning in each week to our Inspired Title and our Title Talks. As always, we're able to listen to you, give us some feedback, tell us some things you guys want to hear, some knowledge you want to learn. Some
knowledge you want to learn.
Knowledge you want to learn. We're all about it.
Learn from us.
We are the title company that cares, right? We are the title company of the ages. So until next time, my name is Drew.
And my name is Amy.
We are Inspired Title. Thank you guys for joining us today. Thank you for listening. Make it a great day, and better, make it a great week. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Take care.